All right, well, what's on your heart today?
Well, thanks for putting me on the spot. I didn't even know we were videoing today. He just shows up and he's like, here's the camera. Look at me, how awful I look.
Well, there's something on my heart. Guess what it is?
Letters.
Letters. We get letters. We get socks and socks of letters.
Yes.
I love it. It never gets old. To me. I guess
To
to you and everybody else has been old from the get-go.
Yes, but we got some beautiful cards and letters. The sun is shining in kind of bright right now, but this one was Easter Blessings, and that is from Miss Judy Pierce. Dr.
That's what I say. I was going to correct you. Dr. Judy Pearson, who loves those 30-area roads for some reason. She
Yes. And we love seeing her comments come through too, but that card is beautiful, and we're looking forward to Easter.
Yeah, we thought that it came as a perfect time, didn't it? So.
Yes.
So we had a couple more.
Oh gosh.
Looks like.
Yes. Mr. and Mrs. Donald Adams sent us a good letter.
Yes, they did.
Yes, and a good donation. We are so appreciative of that.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. That was. We had a couple this week of some of the larger donations we've had.
Yes, and I'll let you do the other one.
Yes, and that was Jim Maiden.
That's all right.
Now he came through the day we did that last video.
Yes.
I went to the mailbox on my way home and had that, and it's like, dadgummit, I always hate when we leave somebody out.
I know.
I know most people don't mind, but I'm just real, you know how we are.
Yes, we try to do right by you and show everything that we got. And sorry, we'll put this in the envelope so we don't lose it. But yes, we are so appreciative. And what you guys send us is what keeps us on the road, keeps us fed on our all-day excursions and
just go to
so
that mailbox.
forth.
Sometimes you go to the mailbox, you get a package, you get all kinds of stuff. And a lot of times it's you know what we get sometimes.
Yeah.
Letters. We get letters.
Again,
Okay. Yeah, I could use both. I could use the Prairie Como version and the David Letterman version. So
Okay. So today we thought that we would talk about Easter and Easter traditions and that kind of thing. So
there's not a lot of, you don't see many people talk about that on videos, do you? For whatever reason.
No, and Easter is this week. So we just love holidays and everything, and Easter is my favorite religious holiday.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I love Easter and just the whole meaning behind it. And
I mean, I don't want to get into anything except the meaning to begin with. Like you said, we want to make sure that that's the important focal point, but there are other traditions to go with it that are kind of fun and cool, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's just such a humbling experience for me to really meditate on the meaning of Easter and all that Jesus has done for us. And I'm just...
we're both people of faith and certainly welcome here if you don't agree with that, but so we don't try to push anything on anybody, but that's just how we live our lives. And
exactly.
And it is a very special, if anybody that is a Christian, and we do have a lot of people like that, knows what a special time of year this is. And for me, I love spring anyway.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the kickoff. There's just something about it, and people dressed in the bright colors. And I think when I was growing up, it was always the time we would buy new clothes too.
Yeah.
Always have your new Easter outfit.
I always heard, was it my mom or somebody in the family talked about they'd get new outfits at Easter and when school started each year. And that was about it.
And if you didn't have money, you wore your Sunday best, as they say.
Yes, that's exactly right.
The best thing you had. You'd get all slicked up.
And I still like dressing up for Easter. My church is very laid back, and you can wear jeans or whatever, but on Easter I still dress up.
That's the best way, and I love when the women wear the hats and.
I don't go that far. I love hats, but
my mom
I love that too.
My mom, Simmons, man, she'd wear one that'd make a peacock blush. It's just.
I know. I remember you talking about her wearing the hats, and it sounds like I would get along with her so well.
She was a flashy lady. She loved. She liked to dress nice. So.
There's a picture of me when I was little though, in a little hat and gloves. The little lace gloves. That's always a special time, I feel like people dress kids more like adults and stuff now, but back in the day, just little kitty outfits, and I love it. But
I'd get the Sears had some jeans. They're called Tough Skins. We get those. I know a lot of times for school, but if I'm not mistaken, I remember that too. That's a funny story. I wrote about it on the blog, but it's gone now. I don't know what happened. I mean, years ago. The previous blog. Yeah. I had the worst thing happen to me on Easter.
What was that?
I happen to be a child of the 80s, right?
Right.
Well, who were the children before this? The 70s.
Yeah.
And you know how that went out of style so fast and furious, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
Well, my uncle gave my parents my cousin's hand-me-down suit.
Yeah.
And it was, canary yellow leisure suit. And with big old bell bottoms and all that. I look like the biggest pimp in Dorian Bottom.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I would love to see a picture of that.
I don't know that there is. I would have probably refused to pose for it.
I think that you told me that, but if there's one out there, I would love to see it.
I need to go look for it because I honestly, I wouldn't have been able to look for it for the next 20 years after that, but I'm finally at a point
that you would like to see it.
Well, you know how it is when you're a teenager and you're self-aware.
Yeah.
People literally were laughing at me. That's just the truth. There are people that's like, man, this is so ridiculous. I had those tight pants on me and the velvet, and then I look like all I needed was...
You just don't look like a bell-bottom kind of guy anyways.
And all I needed was a hat with a feather in it, and that would have been, I don't know, but it was bad. And I remember my face was being red, so I had a yellow suit and a red face. Anyway, that's my Easter horror story.
Yeah. So it was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, but my uncle was happy, so my parents were happy, so I guess that's all that matters. But man, I hated that thing. I dreaded it. As soon as they said they were going to make me wear that, I hated every minute of it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Did you ever get any hand-me-down stuff?
A lot of my family were boys. Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of mine were too. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting off topic of Easter, but yeah, that was a bad day. I'm still blunting from it. So.
It sounds like it. One thing that I love about Easter and always loved is getting up for sunrise service at church. You've never been to a sunrise?
I know I hate that about myself, and I've always wanted to.
More often than not, I've been to one through my life.
So what's that like?
So my babysitters that took care of me once my mom started back at work after she had me, so when I was 6 weeks old, he was a pastor of a church and council, and so we would usually get up and go with them, and you would get up super, super early, 4. It seems like it's when I would get up, because it was a little bit of a drive from Homeacre anyways. And so you go and you have preaching, and you preach the sunrise in, and then you eat breakfast after, and then you do your regular morning services after you eat and fellowship with each other and so forth. And it's just a beautiful thing, it signifies a new day, hope, and the hope of Jesus and the hope of the resurrection. So I always loved Easter sunrise service, but not a lot of churches do them anymore. I'd love to hear from you guys if your church still does it, and if you go, if you've always been, or if you've never been. I'd love to hear that.
I wonder if I didn't realize that's not much of a thing anymore, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think so much anymore.
I know there's a few scattered here and there, but man, I always despised that about myself, not being able to get up to do that, and because it does feel like there's something special about it.
Yeah. Well, Les and I went my whole life. They made me.
Well,
but it's special to me now.
Well, I kept thinking if you could get up for it,
because
neither one of us are morning people. No. If you could get up, surely I could get up with
a
threat of a spanking or something. Anyway,
my church have done it off and on some, but they're not this year. So I'm gonna have to try to look and see if maybe there is one.
Is there big attendance for that, or is it pretty slim? Or
well, back in the old days, there was. It was basically the whole church, and there's a lot of people that come to church on Easter, even when they don't go any other time of the year, and that's fine.
You've heard that phrase, CEO, haven't you?
What?
Christmas and Easter only Christians?
No, well, was it my pastor or somebody that says he sees the biggest attendance at Mother's Day now?
Really?
Easter and Mother's Day.
Wow, that's hard to believe, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess y'all must not give out the good bags then, the good treat bags. I'm getting off topic, yeah.
Yeah, but I guess because a mother's wish is for a child to come to church on Mother's Day. Yeah, which is so sweet. But yeah, there was always a big attendance back in the day. Now, if you go to one, there's not. You know, it's a lot smaller, at least the ones I've been to. But yeah, then my family, like when I was growing up, we had a really big yard in Honeacre, and so everybody would gather back at our house when we were little, and the adults would go out, or teenagers would go out and hide eggs, and all of us kids would hunt eggs, and we would cook out or eat or whatever as family. It was always fun.
It was always, yeah. Since y'all did the legit boiled egg and paint them stuff.
Yes, I always did that. Usually when we'd hide, we'd do like a blend so that they could put little snacks in the plastic eggs or whatever.
That's what I always...
Like $1. You'd be so excited to find the one with $1 in it.
That's what I always... when they switched to that, I got excited because, I mean, I don't... Yeah. No problem with the real eggs, but it was just when you had a treat or some thread of money, that was always a good day. So it's like, oh, you get excited about that. So
yeah.
We used to do it too. Our churches would have a lot of those Easter egg hunts and stuff too, which is good.
Yeah.
It was a bit more.
It's fun.
More, because if you're just a couple, 2, 3 kids, it's not as fun as having...
I could see you being the parent that would get mad because the other kids' parents are saying, look, here's one, get this one, here's another one, get that one. Yeah. I could see you getting mad about that.
Well, that brings back another bad story for me.
Oh, gosh.
I know. Well, my oldest son... He had at daycare, they had an Easter egg hunt. Yeah. And I swear it seemed like they had 4,000 eggs out there, you know, it was like, and 20 kids to find them. And he stumbled and bumbled and fumbled around there and never did get one. And it was just driving me crazy. And then I'd try to help him, like I'd see one, Sean, over here. By the time he'd lumber over to get it, some other kid would swoop in and grab it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my, and it ended up he didn't get any.
Is that just because he's so sweet that he let kids
he's always had the kindest heart like that about, he's just not competitive.
Yeah.
And it drove me insane.
Yeah.
And it just grieved me because then we had to fake and give him some and all that stuff. And you don't
Not
want
me. I wouldn't care to get right over and grab one.
Well, that was the difference.
I was a good basketball stealer too.
That's how I knew my other son Will was different. Is that he went through the same place.
Yeah.
And when they came out, he filled his whole bucket up. And he did this big pose like, you know how Mickey Mouse does the whole arms out and sticks his foot out? Yeah. He did that with his basket filled with eggs. And it's like, okay, this is a whole different type of guy right here.
Yeah, usually with 2 kids, they end up that way, opposites, right?
Oh, yeah. And then when we had the real eggs too, invariably one would get lost and go rotten.
Oh, that would be bad.
You know, when you found them way down the road, it's like, oh, man.
When we did that at our house, they always counted, you know, so we were sure not to leave one. And
oh, y'all could count? Our family can't count. Appalachia. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, working in finance ain't that great for you, is it?
That's why I've gotten out of it now.
Because you forgot how to count? Yes, Appalachians can't read or write or count.
Can't do anything, can we? No. Poor Appalachians.
Shucks. Too bad. But
what about the candy? Did you like Peeps?
I like Peeps. Do you like Peeps?
I love Peeps.
Well, you know what my favorite is, though.
What?
The Reese's egg.
Oh, yeah. I had one, my mind was stuck on Cadbury eggs, and I love them.
I love Cadbury eggs.
So that's why
do you like the cream or the caramel?
Both. I like to eat them separately, though. Like I'll cut into it.
Now you're making me want Cadbury.
I know. They only sell them this time of year. You better.
I know. Stock up.
They might go on discount afterwards, but they're not the same. They get a little harder.
They're not the same. Yeah.
So you better load up on them.
I love the Reese's eggs. So there's just something about them when they're in an egg shape. It just tastes better. Oh, and I don't know.
Peanut butter too.
Is this an Appalachia thing or a Southern thing or what? That the churches will make the little peanut butter eggs at Easter and they put the little candied flour on it and then they sell them to raise money for the church.
I got one every year at church too. That's so funny.
Yeah.
This is probably not the best time. We may have to cut right here, but I was thinking about that last night. It was like you had one for me and you haven't mentioned it again. You ate that, didn't you? You ate my peanut butter egg, didn't you? God's watching.
Yes.
I noticed you kept mentioning it. Hey, I got an egg for you. And then all of a sudden, I never heard about it anymore.
I got hungry for a snack one night.
I'm sorry. It was so funny. I was going to ask you about that yesterday. This is perfect.
This was not discussed before.
No, it wasn't. I put you on the spot. I almost feel bad for that. But not really.
I needed a sweet night.
Don't we all?
Yes.
I was so looking forward to that too. I was like, oh, good. Because you've mentioned it a couple of times, then quit mentioning it.
And it's funny because when I brought it up on video, I was like, crap, he's going to ask about it.
That's why we're fun. I know you so well, and you know me.
I know. Yeah.
It ain't nothing
This
I
is so
wouldn't.
good.
And it's not something I wouldn't do to you too. So
I
guess.
ain't telling you how many I've ate this year.
Well, you told me how
It's
many.
so bad.
I won't do it on camera.
But I
now.
try to eat healthy, you know, during the day, and I'm like, I'm eating healthy, and then you're like at night, and you're kind of hungry, and it's like, ooh, you're about to hit a curb.
Yeah. I'm so mad. I'm so upset about this egg that I can't.
You are not. I might get my hands on another one for you.
Yeah, but would it still make it to me? I'm giving you an excuse to go back and get yet another one.
I don't know.
I'm gonna get this one for you, Shane. I got you another one.
Anyway.
Moving right along.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Easter is a time of forgiveness.
You taught me a valuable lesson this year for Easter.
I did. The lesson of forgiveness. Where are you going?
Oh, I took the wrong turn. Because I forgot about.
Oh my gosh.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Anyways. Whew.
Yeah, it's been an adventure today. And,
Yeah. It's been something.
yeah, so. Now, the eggs.
The eggs.
I think
No, we were moving on from that. We done went there. So your favorite Easter candy is Cadbury.
Yeah, I love it.
Even over the Reese's.
It is, because I can get Reese any time of the year, even though those are better. There's unquestionably better. And the egg.
The pumpkins. The egg and the pumpkins at Halloween.
Well, the egg, yeah, and the pumpkins, but the tree is not as good. I mean, it's as good, but it's not as good as those.
Yeah.
It's for some reason it doesn't get me
It's
excited.
still better than the regular, but not as good as the egg or the pumpkin.
Bingo.
The pumpkin may be I don't know though. That egg is just so perfect.
It's the egg for me too. It's definitely the egg.
It's just so perfect.
There's something about the peanut butter just hits you in all the right places, you know?
Oh, you're making my mouth water.
I know.
Anyways, cook out on Easter? Eat something else?
Sometimes, sometimes, just depended. My family didn't do it so much, but other people, a lot of times I'd be involved with would have that kind of thing. Wasn't really a big, because I know a lot of people talk about eating ham and stuff on that day. Like it's.
Oh yeah, that's right. A lot of people do like Easter ham. I don't think we've ever done that.
No, it wasn't a thing.
We usually cooked out.
Yeah, which is great. It's usually pretty warm and a beautiful.
This year I'm requesting my mom make meatloaf. That's my favorite.
There you go.
I love meatloaf.
The Easter meatloaf.
Easter meatloaf, yeah. I requested that for Thanksgiving one year. Requested it for Christmas one year. I love my meatloaf.
Yeah. So it sounds like a good choice. Your mom must make a mean meatloaf.
She does make a really good meatloaf. But, what else? You eat church, dress, candy.
The bonnets, the gloves, we talked about all that.
We talked about all that. Is there something we're missing with
I feel
Easter?
like we are, so I don't want to wrap it up just yet until we know for sure that.
Oh, ever since the Passion of the Cross come out, I watch that every single Easter.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I just watched it. I'm ashamed to say because I didn't think I could handle it. Honestly, I watched it for the first
You
time.
never watched it before?
I hadn't until this past year. I watched it last Easter.
Did you?
But it was what everybody said it was. I mean, that is a brutal, but it really puts it in perspective what.
I watched it when it come out, and it was at theaters. And I tell you, I love the Abingdon Cinema, the movie theater in Abingdon, because of this. Because he said, like, if anybody doesn't have money and they want to watch it, come. Just, I'll let anybody and everybody watch this movie.
Great.
He would come out and talk before, and he was just so great. And then, like, he told us, like, at the end of the movie, it will be dead silence. And it was. Like, I remember you could hear a pin drop.
That's funny because I watched by myself, but after it was over with, I had to sit there in a moment of reflection, just sit there and just kind of absorb what I'd seen. So
there was this really good, passion play in Gatlinburg. Do you remember that? It seems like where they did it, like, burn in the fire, but I think they had quit doing it before that, maybe.
Well, they had the, Christus Gardens was down there, and that's went out of business. But
maybe that was it. I don't remember, but my mom took me to watch that when I was little. I was probably like Kennedy's age, like 4.
yeah.
And it seems like somebody was like, "Are you gonna let her watch that? Like, it's pretty gruesome." And Mom was like, "Well, I feel like it's important for her to see." And she said, like, I was just like all to pieces. But, you know, I'm very grateful for that, because I've always known my whole life, like, what Jesus did for us. And I'm so grateful. And that's the meaning of Easter. So
that's a great way to end this video, is just talking about that. That's why I'm glad we've came full circle on that.
So even if I was living in a box on the street and I didn't have a nice dress and I didn't have a nice Easter Sunday meal, I still have that in my heart, and that's what's important. And I hope that everybody feels encouraged this week. We have hope in the resurrection, and no matter what's going on in life, we always have that.
Absolutely, and good place to end. Thank you.
We hope you have a good Easter.
Yes.